Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Michael. Today I'm going to walk you through one of my songs, my trailer songs, inspired by The Matrix called Old Gotham. So it's like a strings and beats kind of style trailer, so let's just go through it. Cool. So that's the song. I can't remember if I remember at the top or if I mentioned at the top, but this was inspired by. I can't remember the name of the song actually. It's in The Matrix. It's just this really awesome strings and beat style song. So where do we begin? I guess it would be right around here. So I've got basically short strings, long strings. It says French horns, but it's just like brass, percussion, and like a beat, however you want to describe it, drums. And then a bunch of just kind of like trailer stuff like whoosh hits and downers and taiko rolls. And at the top, I've got kind of the same thing, some risers. And I think this was like a little sound design thing I made. So let's go through it. So first of all, let's start with the strings because that's kind of where, the heart of the song is. Okay, so what do we got going on there? So this song's kind of interesting because there are a lot of things that I can't necessarily explain how I did it exactly because it's a lot of sound design stuff. But what that means is that you can mess around with strings and get some really cool sounds. So I'm going to start soloing just individual instruments. I noticed that when I solo a couple of these things, you can hear other things in the background. So just ignore that, I guess, if you can. But here's like kind of like the very start. So this is a patch called Analog Strings. So they already have this kind of like synthy style strings, but I added I added a bunch of delay to it so that it just has that kind of like repeating sound to it. Right around here, we've got these arc high strings. So Metropolis Arc 1, and they're doing this little intro. But you can see that they, what did I do to them? It looks like they're just playing normally. I think the volume is just pretty low. Yeah, okay, so I just, they sound kind of far because there's also a good amount of reverb on them. Okay, and then lastly, this is kind of the big thing here. This is like this weird sound design-y. See, now everything seems to be highlighted, but you can kind of hear it in the back, but that's okay. So this is just like this weird, I believe what I did was a pitch bend. Let's see if I can see it in the... Maybe not. I might have bounced it. So it sounds like it's just like a low arc note that is kind of like using the pitch wheel to go up and down, just with a bunch of reverb. And then again, it's actually pretty low volume, and I cut out a little bit of the lows. So all those things combined, you get this kind of cool intro. Right, if you mute that. So that's basically the start of the song, and that stuff just kind of repeats throughout the whole song all the way through. Other string instruments or elements come in at some point. So let's just keep listening from right about here and see what comes up next. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got two things going on there. We've got this little sound here. So that's, you can see like, it's just like, I just kind of mangled it a little bit. Let's turn off this here. We'll just go like this for now. So just cut out a bunch of it. I just wanted to kind of sound like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just sounds like it's like almost old, if that makes sense. Maybe not. It just sounds like it sounds like it's almost coming out of a radio. I think that's what I was going. Old is the wrong word. Let's see the channel EQ. So yeah, you can see I use right here a phone filter notch. So that's one of the settings in this particular EQ that it sounds like it's coming out of a phone. In the Matrix, they use the phones. Is there a connection there? Probably not. But I should have said it was so that I sound cooler. So there's the the do do do. The second one is this sound right here. So what do we got going on there? Let's see. So there's the analog strings again. So it's basically just, it's like a synth. So got this particular patch up, and you can see it's called air pumping. And I've also got this third thing here is a delay. And then we got the reverb on it, and it's also EQ'd. No, it's not EQ'd. That's just on for no reason. So that's the new elements that are coming in, and obviously we've got this beat that drops in. As I said, it's a strings and beat brief that we had. So let's listen to that on its own. Okay, so let's break that down. So we've got a snare and the hi-hat going. I believe I used Devastator for this, so but whatever, if you want to use, you can use whatever you want. So that's pretty standard. Now, I remember the feedback I got for this particular part of the song was that at the end the beat gets pretty strong. So I had that at the very beginning, and they're like, well, where do you go from here? You can't really get bigger because it's already so busy. So I left it at the end, and then I dialed back the intro so that it's just pretty simple, but still kind of aggressive, right? What else do we got? We got a sub in here. Cool. I obviously had a pulse at one point. Let's get to the pulse here. Let's hear what that sounds like. It is so low I can barely even hear it. Okay, so we've got a snare, a hat, a kick, and a sub, and a low pulse, all kind of going together. So at this point, it's really not that like trailerized. It sounds kind of like there was a couple. It just sounds like a beat at this point, so it's kind of cool. So we do have a couple whoosh hits. That's kind of like what's keeping it going. So let's hear these, just so you have an idea. Okay, so that's where that wobble was coming from. So this whoa boom, I guess, is like a wobble boom. So it just got that whoa whoa. Okay, so that's kind of trailery. So okay, so now we've got that's basically our intro. Let's check the strings, just see where we're at. Okay, so I obviously had these going at one point, and then I was like, nope, mute them. So let's keep going, and then we'll see what happens in the second act, I guess. Okay, so that's kind of like a little bridge here between the first act and the second act. So let's hear that on its own. Okay, so it looks like a bunch of reverb, some delay. It sounds like okay, so I think these two items here are the same thing. They might be mixed a little bit different, but this one I think is just being played backwards. I thought that'd be a cool little It sounds cool to me right now, so I think so. I think that's what it is. Otherwise, it's just some sound design stuff. But let's move on to, let's start the second act here again. So let's start it there. Stop it there, rather. What do we got going on? So these kind of like these elements that we talked about before are still going. What's introduced is the brass. We've got a pad. Let's just get the pad out of the way. I'm sure it's fairly just. There's a pad. I can barely even hear it, but it's there. Tone down. So then, what do we got going on? This actually isn't trailer brass. It's from Sound Paint. It's kind of like these. We'll just play them on their own, so you can hear them. So that's kind of just making it sound thicker. I guess I should emphasize that you can hear now that the melody, everything, the chords are going downwards. So it's da, da, da. Whereas that was not happening before. So from here all the way to here, it's kind of like the beginning of everything starting to change a little bit. I mean, we're really starting to get into the song. Okay, so we've got the brass coming in. It sounds like the strings came in as well. So let's hear these bad boys. What do we got? So again, not that much going on, but you combine it with the kind of like synthesized strings. Then you can add the brass back in. It's starting to build, right? There's a lot of the same elements, but we just added in the kind of that like pulsing string, as well as it does sound like the beat has changed a little bit. So let's hear what's going on. Okay, so we got the sub going, we got the hat, we got the kick, the snare, still going. It sounds like the kick might have changed. So I think that's different than what we had originally. There's now a downer. So that's, I don't know, I love downers. So there's a downer, the wobble's still there, but I think there's something else that changed. I think it might have been the hi-hat. So here's the hi-hat before. Let's hear that on its own. Oop. So basically as the song's going on, we're trying to just, build. So just pretty straight. Let's hear if it, maybe it's yeah. Okay, so you can hear it's kind of like really starting to go. I didn't play this in. I can't play anything like that, but I just was messing with the hi-hat notes just so that it sounds like really like quick. And that I love that right there because it just sounds very like a glitch in the Matrix kind of thing. Cool, even though it's just a hi-hat. All right, so what do we got next? Let's go back to like the middle part of the second act here, and we'll take it from there. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. So what's going on here? So you can see we've got these strings coming in. And like, I don't know if those are, they don't sound to me like, let's see. No, they don't really sound like they're in time, but I think they sound kind of cool. Cool. So those are something new. Those are kind of leading us up to the next break. They're rising, as the song is going along. What else? A lot of the same things going on. One thing I forgot to go over. I have this little element here. I can't remember what it was. I think I recorded like the sound of my keys or something, or like a doorknob, but you'll hear that throughout the song, and that's just I messed around with it. You know, had a bunch of things going around. I can't like recreate it for you. I there were so many levels of what I did to it, but let's listen. You can hear it right comes right in here. So it's there. Just one little element that can kind of just bring out your song a little bit more. And what else? I think there was another thing of strings that came in. So originally we had, and then it looks like these guys come in. So just higher up there. Higher up there, just in the higher octave. Cool. My computer might be struggling a little bit with it, but okay, so we basically we're here at the break. Let's take it there and then we'll close it out. And also don't worry about this stuff. That just didn't make it to the song. It's just didn't get deleted. Okay, right before we get to that last part, what do we got here? We've got... So it's very quick. I kind of was like, the song has a lot of energy, so I didn't really want to like have a long down or a delay in between the different different sections of the song. So we got a riser, we got a downer, and then another little short riser or maybe like a suck back just to get us back into the third act. So let's listen from the third act now. I don't know where that little boom sound came from. What do we got going on here? So it sounds like the strings are just going crazy. Let's listen to these. But that was already there before, so why did it sound so much bigger? Maybe it was just these guys here? Right. So there's a new line of strings playing something different. Nope. So there's just kind of like this ramping up sound from the arcs combined with the other strings. You can even, it sounds like there's even like maybe like a cello or something in the middle there. Oh, there we go. So that's just going along down with the that, what was it down here? There's no we had. See, it's playing everything for some reason, but so you can hear it. So now the strings are going full force. It sounds like there's a piano, or it looks like there's a piano as well. So I just messed with it, added like a bunch of reverb. Right. We still have that little element playing the. So we got strings going crazy. I believe there's some long strings that we're playing as well. So let's, you can't hear them. This song was never mastered or anything like that, but or you can't hear them if you're not paying attention sometimes. So let's just listen to these parts. So that's playing towards the end of this song. You can see here the little analog. I chopped that up and just repeated it, looks like 5 times at the end. Basically, the ending is everything just being chopped up and played over and over again, like the first bar, back to back to back to back. But last thing we should probably look at as well, we have some French horns, this time actually playing French horn stuff. No, let's actually play this on its own. It's not actually cutting out during the song, but because my computers have trouble with it. So you can hear now the, you know, that what did I call it before? Sound paint. the horns are just really kind of like starting to blare it through. They're going through the chords, playing really aggressively. The big change in the third act here is that I remember their feedback was kind of like, okay, you're there now. We need you to really bring it home. So we had the kick and the kicks going full blast, the hi-hats like going nuts. But the big thing was to add, you can see only in this third section here, is a lot of the trailer percussion. So let's listen here. So let's mute a lot of the stuff that we're used to hearing. I don't know about this one, I think. So you can see we got whoosh hits going through. We've got a bunch of hits from like damage. It looks like a bunch of damage actually. And then some trailer, synthetic trailer drums. You can see at the bottom there's a taika roll leading us into a couple different sections. So the big thing is that new snare hit. Maybe it's the cymbal? Or maybe nope, that's just an actual cymbal. That's why I labeled it correctly, I guess. So here's another snare, maybe? There we go. That's just, I used from Battery. Just added a bunch of reverb to it. I just like the sound of like, it just sounded like really cool. Yeah, so let's just keep going, I guess, and we'll listen to the ending. So you can see I literally just chopped up a bunch of stuff just to repeat it over and over again. That's how you get that the ending. And the ending here is basically the intro. So you got, but I think it's higher. Let's see. Yeah. Or this is sorry, it's the wrong instrument, but you just play it on its own at the end with just the arc strings playing. And we had a little riser rise up at the end. So yeah, we had the strings, we had the brass, we had the percussion. I actually turned off the sub and stuff by accident, but let's just hear this last part one last time. There you have it. That's basically the song. My Matrix-inspired trailer song for strings and beats. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.